Baseplan Presents video features how to reduce your inventory freight costs, focusing on the following areas: setting up reorder levels and preferred vendors against parts, creating a part backorder from a service job and sales order, generating a single purchase order, receipting goods against the purchase order, viewing the allocation of parts against a service job and sales order.
Okay, so I'm currently logged into Baseplan Enterprise. And when we talk about trying to reduce our inventory freight costs, what we actually are talking about is that we might be ordering parts and inventory from multiple different locations within the business. We might be ordering parts for particular service jobs or work orders. We might be ordering parts or inventory for particular sales orders where we need a customer's trying to buy something from us. And we might be just trying to refill and replenish our current parts inventory through a reorder process as well. So there's different areas that we might need to replenish it, and often people will raise individual purchase orders for each of those different areas. So if we run through a scenario where we can actually look at a particular inventory item, we're going to go to inventory, in inventory master, and we can actually look up a particular part number that we actually want to reorder. So I can have a look at maybe this particular motor, and we can actually see what the part number is, but more importantly, we can actually set up a preferred vendor against that particular part. What that's going to allow us to do is that when we actually create a purchase order, it's going to pull through that particular vendor and then the purchase price that has been set up against that particular vendor as well. Not only that, when we actually have a particular item code in the system, we can set up the different warehouses that actually are allowed to stock these particular items. And we can, if we double click on this particular warehouse, we can actually set up the maximum and minimum levels as well. So then when we run a reorder process, it'll actually reorder up to the maximum level potentially. When we look at something like a purchase order against a service job, if we go into our service job module, we can actually be working on a particular piece of unit, and we might need to order a part that's not currently available. So we can actually back order that part against the particular service job and include that also in with the reorder process. So if I go up to actions and go to parts issue, I can start typing in a particular part number. So I can maybe do a JLG 1001, maybe like this floodlight, for example, and we don't currently have any quantities available for this unit. So if I was to try and add this in, it'll let me know that the quantity available is 0 and the quantity requested is 1. And it wants to know, did I want to back order this unit against the particular service job? So I can say yes. And when I hit save, it'll add the line in here as part of the parts issue. If we go back, we can actually see that there is now an unconfirmed parts order that's been back ordered. And so next time we run our process for ordering parts from JLG, we might want to include this particular service job back order as well. Now maybe a customer's called up and they want to come pick up a part from your particular location. So if I was to go into our inventory module and the inventory main inquiry, we might be creating a sales order for something, and we might not have that inventory item either. So I can start typing in the item code, or I can actually click on search and search for the particular part. So I can maybe look for a particular type of bushings, for example, and maybe we want this particular part at the bottom. So we can double click on that and bring through all the information about what is available. Again, we don't have any quantities available and the customer's after something. So what we can do is we can type in the customer's name and the particular site that they're calling from and the quantity that they're after. And this will do the same thing. It'll actually create a back order for that particular customer as well. So if I went to actions and sales order, this will take all the information and put it onto the particular sales order. And we can see here it's been ordered. And when I hit the tick button to create invoice, it's going to ask me, did I want to back order this item as well? I can then say yes, and it's been back ordered. So now we've actually got 3 different areas that I just mentioned. We've got the service job where we've back ordered a particular part. We've got the actual inventory quantities on the parts itself, where we need to reorder up to the minimum or the maximum. We've got a sales order that also has a particular JLG part that needs to be ordered. Now, if we went off and raised individual purchase orders for each of those different areas, we would be paying freight 3 times. If we were to actually include this all in a single purchase order, we can reduce that freight cost within the business. And the way we can actually achieve that is by, if I go to my inventory module and go to reorder, and I can click on an add new reorder and choose the particular warehouse I want to order it from. So I can say 120, and I want to reorder my parts, for instance. Now down the bottom here, you can see the reorder options is parts issues, which is basically items that are coming off service jobs that need to be reordered, sales orders, which we've just done. So if someone wants to buy a part, so we're back ordering the sales order item, and the reorder levels as well. So we can do that. Then what we can do is we can hit create batch. That's going to then look at in the system for all the things that need to be reordered and give me a list of quantities. And what I can do is I can then scope this by the particular vendor. So I can say, all I want to do is order JLG parts. And it will show me the particular items that need to be ordered and the quantity on hand and the quantity to order. It'll also show me the part number and then the source of it. So it's a reorder item. This one's a sales order and it'll give me the sales order number. This one's a parts issue and it'll give me the job number as well. So I can go through and select all these different items. And maybe I want to change the different quantities as well, or I can just hit select all. And all I need to do to actually add this onto a single purchase order is go down to the bottom right here and click on create POs. Once I do that, it's just confirming my branch. And that moves everything off that reorder batch. If I was to jump into our purchase order module now, there would be an open purchase order for JLG with those particular items. So we can see here that there's an open purchase order for JLG with all the different items that we have included as part of the reorder process for the different areas. And now all I need to do now is just confirm this. Maybe I want to update the ETA for the purchase order from JLG. And once I confirm that, we're basically waiting for those goods to come in. So we've got a single purchase order, so we're going to be paying freight once, basically. Once that occurs, we basically now need to receipt those goods. So what we can do is we can go into our purchase receipt module, and when the goods are arriving, there should be your purchase order number on the particular invoice as well. So I can go to the purchase receipt module and just hit add new. And you see how the PO is blank at the moment? So I can actually put that PO number in there and it will pull through the relevant vendor information automatically. All I do is I hit save, and then I just need to go up to actions and receipt the goods that we're expecting to receive from that reorder process that we just ran. So I can go receipt goods and hit on filter, and I can basically go through and check these different items to make sure that the right quantity has arrived along with the price as well. So I can say that's fine. I can check the bushings, it's correct as well. And the flood lamp and the joystick. So that's all been completed, and that adds all my receipts onto that particular detail line. Now what's going to happen is when I receipt this, it will update the quantities in the areas that it's been assigned to. So if it's been from a particular service job, it will then be allocated to that service job automatically. If it's for the sales order, it'll be allocated to that service, to the sales order automatically. If it's just for our warehouse quantities, it'll update those quantities automatically as well. So all I do is I hit confirm receipt and put my initials in. You can see here it gives me a warning that's going to update those quantities. And then what I can do is I can then print this from this screen, 150. So then once we've actually confirmed what where the picking needs to be put, we can actually go back and see that it's actually updated the relative quantities automatically. So this is the back order for the service job. If I refresh this, you can see here that it's been actually allocated to that particular service job. If we went back to that particular sales order, up here to sales order, you'll see that it's been allocated as well, and now it can be sold to the customer. So it was ordered and now it's been allocated as well. And all I need to do is hit create invoice, and that invoice will be generated. and then we can go in from that next process there. So look, I hope this has given a bit of insight on how you can actually reduce your freight cost by consolidating your purchasing for different parts on a single purchase order. If you have any questions or any future ideas on topics for the Baseplan Presents sessions, please let me know, and hope to see everyone again in next week's session.